Well, I spoke to a recruiter and he gave me a guy's number to speak to on the LinkedIn profile. And I spoke to him and he goes, a good thing to do if you're starting off on your journey of wanting to become a DevOps engineer or get into that field would be to learn an orchestration tool. So he goes, learn Docker and Kubernetes, learn some Python as well. So that's what I decided to do. So I looked around and I found the CKA course and it was live sessions to join, which I liked. And that was obviously during the pandemic, so you couldn't go anywhere. And also they provided labs and also support was really key as well during and after you passed the course and the WhatsApp group. So that was a key reason for wanting to join. And key reason to do it was just to develop my skills to future-proof myself because technology was becoming more important, particularly microservices and deliverables. All companies doing streaming services, banking, anything with shopping, everything's microservices and everything's going to the cloud. First part of the journey was to get CKA under my belt. So I've not come from a technical background. I have more project management and contract management. I looked and I thought I've got all the people skills and project management skills, but I haven't got the technical skills to go with it. So that's the reason why I'm picking CKA. I think it was positive. I'd give it 8 out of 10. It was very positive, and the trainer had really good knowledge. I'm the one who did it, and after I joined a few sessions, that was really good as well. I like the support that we got, raising service tickets. That's a massive thing to have. That is. Yes, I spoke to him for an hour for my exam. He said he doesn't normally do this because I had so many questions to ask to clarify some points. He rang up and did that one off, which was fantastic. I really appreciate it. I messaged him separately to thank him and on the group as well. I like doing the live sessions when they're happening. I don't like to refer back to the live sessions after. So I prefer doing the live sessions and then going to do the work and then referring back to the recorded sessions after. I went back to those more often, unless it was for the XCD backup, something really complex. Then I went back to the live video because that's you remember. I think certifications are there to prove that you can have an understanding and you know the subject. I don't think it makes you fully ready to go into a job and just run everything, but it gives you a validation that someone's employing you. You've gone through a test under pressure and you know how to work under pressure, and you've understood the subject. You've been through a learning path of understanding, which is key. And software's updating constantly. There's generally, if they bring another orchestration tool out, I'll know a good idea to use it because I've used Kubernetes, and also it's giving me an understanding of Linux, which is really important, which I never had before. So I've got a ground to build. I've got basically like building a house. You've got a solid foundation. You just keep building on it. So I know my plan is I've learned Kubernetes and Docker. I'm learning Python next. So I've got a study material for that. And then I've signed another course to K21Academy course, AZ104. So I know what to expect for that now. So the live sessions have already started. I wanted to pass CK beforehand before they started, but I know I can watch the live sessions, catch up, and I know the support's there for me. So I learned orchestration tool, I learned a software development software, Python, and then I'm going to learn more on AZ104 because I've done some on the CK course, setting up virtual machines and networking, and I've got a better understanding there. And then I've got my AZ900, the initial qualification. So when I go into for a job interview, I can say I've got all these people skills your normal IT people don't have. So I know how to talk to someone now. I've never spoke to you before, but I can speak to you like a professional and make you understand what I'm saying. But then I've got the technical skills, which the certifications which you want. Normally, if you get a software developer, they just sit there quietly and just do their work and they don't want no one to talk to them. But I need to understand what they're building to then put it into Docker, to then orchestrate it on Kubernetes and have the right infrastructure set up. So I had an understanding of what Kubernetes was and kind of how it works and side pods. But it was general knowledge, it wasn't anything in depth. And I tried to do it myself and I kind of got lost on not knowing what to do. So when I joined this course, there's a clear structure, what to work through. So that helped my studying, compartmentalising each area, what I needed to learn and what I needed to learn and how to learn it as well. So setting up the virtual machines on the Azure account was really key because that introduced me more to the Azure side of things again. So I've done my AZ900 and then it's just going back to that. So I really enjoyed that part of it, and actually watching someone do it on video and then doing it yourself after and following the labs was really key. Having the documents and then support was really important. So I wrote my own notes on each section that I did. Just to remind myself, because I've really good at understanding it and then remembering it after is a problem until you keep practicing. So I went through all the material, read my own notes, and then I did the practice questions. So I use Code Cloud because they've got an area where you can do some practice questions, but you can also put your own ones in. So I use that to help me revise. And then the other questions, you had 3 sets of questions that you used. I basically I took some of those questions that I was getting stuck on and copy and paste them into a Word document and made my own test. And then I was timing myself to see if I can go an hour and 10 minutes, then do an hour and a half to build myself up to the exam. And so it just was a 2 hours straight away and I couldn't concentrate. I'd say my initial advice would be to make sure you understand the topic, because I think I rushed my first one and just thought I memorised the answers rather than actually knowing the answers. So it said, create a service account, this name. If it came from a different name, you might get confused. Put in a certain namespace, so understand the questions properly if they change the wording on there, which they would, and understand how to, I think just not for the exam, but also you'll realise how to troubleshoot. And if you don't know where the error, you don't know what the error is, know where to look. So go to the manifest, so you go to etcd Kubernetes manifest file, the var log pods, var lib kubelet config. Make sure they're in your mind. And then the other thing I'd say is make sure you practice exam questions in depth and time yourself and make sure you've not got the answers there, because then you'll know where you're stuck. So I struggled with the side pod because I don't really know Python, and that had some in there. And a lot of the questions that were on the exam practice papers, a lot of them came up on there, but just a different flavour, different name, or maybe just add a namespace in. So I'd say to concentrate on those as much as you can, and that's probably the key thing for me, is concentrate on those ones, on those questions. And if you can get through practice papers within an hour, 10-15 questions, within an hour and a half, that means you're ready for the exam. Because when I did the exam the third time, I got to a certain point with an hour and a half left, and all I had is etcd backup left to do and SidePod, and they were the 2 questions I struggled on. And I was like, I was surprised. I looked at the time and he goes, you've got 30 minutes left. So that's probably then the third thing is ask the person who's doing your exam, the invigilator, to prompt you on time prompt.